The secret to having physical togetherness with your twin flame is God. And that may or may not be triggering. And if it is triggering to you, don't worry, I've got you covered. My name is Breann. I'm a Master Certified Ascension Coach with Twin Flames Universe. And yeah, let's just get right into it. Today I want to talk to you about the secret ingredient to having harmony, peace, and physical togetherness for eternity with your twin flame. And that is God. As I said in the beginning, we can't cut God out of this. And when I say God, I don't mean religion. And that's often the triggering point for some people is when you hear the word God, you automatically think religion. But to me, the God that I know is divine unconditional love, not exactly tied to any religion. It's just source energy. It is love energy. It's a pure divine innocence that created us and flows through us in all things. We're one with love, and therefore all things are created in the image of love, including you and your twin flame. And now that we've got that covered, know that if you don't have a relationship with God or some kind of relationship or working towards your relationship with God, you're going to find that your twin flame reflects that back to you, meaning that they're going to show you where because if you're not having a relationship with God, because you're one with God, then that means you're not having a relationship with yourself, right? And it means something much deeper than just a surface level relationship with yourself. It means having a genuine, loving relationship with who you are as a divine, authentic being. And so this is oftentimes where twin flames experience, and myself included, experience a physical separation from their twin flame, because it means that you're experiencing physical or separation, the illusion of separation from yourself, which your twin flame just simply reflects that back to you. And what I really want to go deeper in today, that was kind of like foundation as to the key to your union, your twin flame physical union and togetherness, is a viewer. One of the viewers asked a question, a really good question, and I want to say thank you. You know who you are as I read the question. And I also want to encourage anyone that watches this video, feel free to ask any twin flame questions related to your relationship with God or just the spiritual journey in general, twin flame journey. I love to answer questions, and know too that I'm only going to be able to answer them to the best of my ability, to where my consciousness has evolved and, speaking from my heart and through my own experiences. But yeah, in that will, provide clarity of some form or help take you deeper too. But so the question, don't worry, it's related to what I was just talking about. So here it is. So this person wanted me to share my experience in surrendering to God as He is our divine masculine, our father, and our husband, speaking from a divine feminine perspective, right? If you are a divine masculine, well then God, through your woman, your twin flame, your divine feminine, that would be still receiving God as your divine lover, but you would see them as, maybe more as like the feminine aspect of God, okay? And so then it says, let me just repeat the question, all right? My experience in surrendering to God as He is our divine masculine, our father, and our husband, as a divine feminine. And what test did you go through in the experience of accepting? Okay, this kind of leads into something else. Accepting the request to travel from Norway to America. All right, so I'm just going to divide that up. So the first question, me as a divine feminine, how did I relax into surrender into my relationship with God? And, God moving through my twin flame is the divine masculine, right? And so first I want to establish something else here, and that God is like a twin flame, right? God is divine masculine, divine feminine, all in one. And so God creates us in the image of him, she, however you refer to God. God is source. Creates twin flames like God. So you have, like me, I'm a divine feminine, and I have my divine masculine. You're either divine feminine, divine masculine, and you have your perfect counterpart. All right. And in your togetherness, that is, in your perfect nature, state of nature, you are in a state of God consciousness, divine consciousness, and you are going to experience yourself as the essence that you were created to be. So for me, excuse me, I am a divine feminine. So I experience God through me as a feminine essence, right? And then I experience the divine masculine through my twin flame, God as a DM through the essence of my twin flame. I hope I'm making sense. Just follow me here. And in that, we are, we're one. There's unison. There's no separation in that. But specifically speaking, how did I surrender into my relationship with God in knowing that God is technically my divine lover, my father? Well, God is all things, right? And this is where people can get triggered too, is like, wait, what? Because most people view God as like their parent, and God is your parent. God is your creator. But because God is union, is love, is source energy, God flows through all things. So God is the tree outside your window. God is the sun in the sky. God is the relationship that you're having with all things. God is that, delicious cup of coffee or tea that you have in the morning. That gives you that good feeling, right? That is God. God is loves you through your brother, through your sister. God loves you through your children. If you have children, God loves you through your animals. Like if you have a cat or you have a dog, that is God. And so the relationship with God is vast. It's multifaceted. It's not limited, right? And sometimes as, having a human experience, we might get very stuck on God as just my parent. That's it, right? I can only see God as my parent. But that's what this journey of coming in a harmonious union with God is it's seeing God is in all things, right? You're seeing God in you, like your divine essence, and you see God as your divine essence within you. You also see that in your twin flame. All right, and so I don't want to get too far away. I'm just making sure that I provide enough context to help, because I can feel how some of this information would be triggering. And I know that because, early on in my journey, back in 2016, there was a lot of triggering moments for me because I had to do a lot of healing in my relationship with God because I grew up Southern Baptist. So I had a very warped idea of who God was. And so I really had to do a lot of healing there. And I want to say too that, relating or going back to this question is that however your mom and your dad raised you is probably how you're going to perceive God, right? And so for my personal experience, for this person's question, is that my dad was not around, when I was a child. My dad was around and probably until my parents got a divorce when I was about 7 or 8 years old. And then my dad moved on and got remarried and, adopted 3 children and very much focused his life on his new family. And so in that, I felt abandoned. I felt betrayed. I felt like I wasn't loved, right? And so that has been the biggest wound that I've had to move through in my relationship with God, specifically related to the divine masculine side, is feeling that I'm not worthy to be loved by the divine masculine, or that I'm not good enough to be loved by the divine masculine. And, my dad too, the children that he adopted in the new marriage, they were boys, right? And so that's been an upset in my union, is that my twin flame and I, we both incarnated in this lifetime as in feminine bodies, right? But I'm the feminine, my twin flame's a masculine, and that's something that we're very actively healing in this lifetime. And in that, as I was growing up, I thought that I had to be a divine masculine, so we were very out of balance in our union. I thought in order to be worthy, I had to be a divine masculine, and so I attempted, through being a tomboy. That's something that girls are called sometimes when they, maybe like a lot of like masculine activities or things of that nature, being a tomboy. But that was me really rejecting myself. So anyways, yeah, like I had to move through feelings of worthiness. And also too, in some ways, it was easy for me to relax into my relationship with God, especially the divine masculine side, because the times that I had with my dad before my parents got a divorce were really good times. Like my dad is very goofy, and he always made me laugh, and I felt so loved and I felt so protected. And so those times that I did have with my dad, and I felt God, loving me and guiding me and protecting me through my biological father, I know because those moments felt good, that was the relationship that I was having with God in that moment, right? And then as everything, transpired, as, my dad got remarried, well, then that was just places where I didn't feel worthy of God's love, that I was manifesting these experiences for myself. And so related to, the divine feminine side is that I had, in my relationship with the feminine parental figures in my life, it was, there's a lot of healing there too to be done, and still is, in feeling there's a lot of control, like lots of control, and emotionally disconnected, like lack of connection. And so these are places where I'm really going deeper and healing in my relationship with the feminine aspect of God, is because this is why I'm saying is that the relationships that you had with your mom and your dad is going to be the relationship that you're having with God. And so you might, feel like you don't like God, or maybe you're upset with God, but know that God can only flow where love is allowed. And so if you did not experience, there was components of the relationships with your mom and dad that were not loving, know that that wasn't God flowing there, right? Because as human beings, we have a lot of patterns. We have a lot of separation consciousness that we're all, like every single one of us, is healing through to some degree. And so those beautiful moments that you had with your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, know that that was the essence of God moving through them in that moment, or in those moments, because that's where the door was open for love. Whereas when there was upsets, triggers, or abuse, abandonment, betrayal, anything of that nature, know that that's not God. That's where God couldn't move, right? And that's where a pattern was playing out, maybe in your ancestral, the passing down of reincarnation through reincarnation. And so that is a place of healing, that way that you can experience God in that place. And now I feel like I'm getting very, very deep in this video, and I don't want to stray away from, the initial question. But I hope that does provide some clarity as to, your relationship with God, and what to look at and where to heal it. Like, going back again, like, God is divine love. It's a pure, innocent, divine love. And if you ever question, here's a really good exercise. If you're like, okay, my idea of God is completely different from what you're saying, Breann. So how can I experience what you're speaking to? Simple. Have you ever held a kitten? Have you ever held a puppy dog? Have you ever held a newborn baby or a little child? Have you ever walked outside and felt the sunshine shining on your face and you just felt so peaceful? Or holding that little kitten or that little puppy and you just felt so much joy in your heart and you could feel the innocence, coming from that little baby or coming from that kitten, hamster, bird, whatever little child, right? That sweet softness, that innocence, that purity, that divinity, that joy in your heart in that moment, that's God. That is God, okay? And as we are navigating our journey, we are healing our consciousness so that we can experience that purity and that innocence and that divinity and that joy in every single component of our lives, with your twin flame, with the relationships, your friendships, your family members, right? We're healing so that we can experience that God consciousness in every single area of our lives, right? And so, yeah, like I'm sure you've had a moment in your life where you have experienced that joy, you have experienced that sweetness and that innocence. Now it's time to take that and choose to open up to God more, letting Him show you more of Himself, herself. However you relate to God is perfectly fine. And if you just want to say just God and keep he, she out of it, that's fine too. Just respect and validate your journey and where you're at and relax into it and just open your heart. Willingness is what matters most, all right? A willingness to learn, a willingness to grow, a willingness to experience divine love within yourself and your life. So I feel like that was a very lengthy video, but hopefully very much clarified the question and also pinpointed a lot of other different points, especially if you have any upsets, in relationship with Source, with the divine, with God, because having this handled is incredibly important to manifesting physical union with your twin flame. It's very uncomfortable being with your twin flame if you have a not a good relationship with yourself and the divine within you. There's going to be a lot of upsets, a lot of triggers. And yeah, once again, like I'm in harmonious twin flame union with my twin flame as a result of studying the teachings of union. And so if you're interested in diving in, the teachings of union, right, teaches you how to cultivate union within yourself, your twin flame, your relationship with God in all areas of life. Don't feel don't feel free. I was going to say, do feel free to reach out and to connect with me. I always provide my information in the description box below. So don't hesitate to reach out. That's what I meant to say. Don't hesitate to reach out, but I got my words, my sentences confused. And then don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe. And once again, always open and welcome to more questions. I love the questions that you guys present. They're very, they're very healing for all involved. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.